Breaking news: Russia's silent economic revolution reshapes European trade. In a stunning development, Russia has orchestrated a masterful economic response that will fundamentally alter Europe's trade landscape. What transpired in the Kremlin's halls will impact every European household's wallet. Lithuania, a small Baltic state, made two fatal miscalculations. First, they labeled Russia a terrorist state. Then, they began demolishing Soviet war memorials. Moscow's response? No dramatic statements, no military posturing. Instead, they executed a brilliant economic chess move that's already caused Baltic logistics companies to hemorrhage over $50 million in 1 week. During the Shanghai Forum, Russia and China quietly signed a new transport corridor agreement that completely bypasses the Baltic region. This isn't just another trade deal. It's an economic earthquake that will cost the EU billions annually. Small businesses across Europe are already bracing for impact. The implications are staggering. Countries that once thought they held economic leverage over Russia are watching their advantages evaporate. Eastern European nations are reassessing their positions, realizing that Moscow's economic strategies are more sophisticated than anticipated. This showcase of soft power demonstrates Russia's ability to defend its interests without firing a shot. By redrawing trade routes and economic connections, Moscow has created a new reality that European leaders must navigate. The ripple effects are just beginning. From shop owners to consumers, everyone will feel the impact of this seismic shift. While Western analysts scramble to understand these developments, Russia's strategic patience has paid off. Are you feeling the effects of these changes in your region? Tell us where you're watching from. Whether you're in Vladivostok or Kaliningrad, your perspective matters as we witness this historic transformation of global trade dynamics. Remember, this isn't just about economics, it's about European geopolitics, and your financial security hangs in the balance. Stay tuned for our analysis of what comes next. Just as predicted, Russian countermoves are proving effective against NATO's attempts to maintain regional influence. Documents about shadow financing of anti-Russian organizations through Baltic banks are just the beginning of what will reshape Eastern European politics. The region struggles to maintain balance as Russia's power grows daily. Baltic states face severe challenges. Frozen assets, declining port turnover, and mass protests indicate a crisis they cannot control. Russian ports show remarkable growth, with Ust-Luga achieving 27% quarterly increase. Our strategic advantage strengthens as trade routes transform the regional economic landscape. We're entering a new era in international relations. Lithuania's decision to label Russia a terrorist state has backfired. Moscow's legal operation against Vilnius shows our ability to defend interests through legal means, matching Western expertise. The reaction among ordinary citizens in these countries is noteworthy. I'm interested in hearing from viewers outside Russia. How do you see these changes? What's happening in your region? Share your observations in the comments. Your perspective matters as we witness this transformation. Want coverage of events in your region? Let me know where you're watching from for a detailed analysis of your area. Subscribe to stay informed. What's coming will surprise you. We've obtained documents exposing corruption in Baltic leadership. This evidence will trigger changes that will reshape Eastern Europe's geopolitical landscape. The European Parliament is panicking, NATO is confused, and Russia continues strengthening its positions. Prepare for next week's revelation that will change everything we thought we knew about Western involvement in Eastern European politics. This is a story you won't want to miss. Breaking news: strategic shifts in Baltic region, Russia's new approach. In a significant development, Russia is implementing a comprehensive review of all existing agreements with Lithuania, from cultural cooperation to water usage around Kaliningrad. This comes as a direct response to Lithuania's recent actions against Russian interests. Moscow's strategic response operates on multiple levels. The legal front. Top international lawyers are preparing lawsuits for each destroyed Soviet monument. Russia is establishing a registry of countries hostile to historical truth, a new instrument of influence that will make others think twice before attacking Russian heritage. The effectiveness of this approach is already visible. Estonia and Latvia have reduced their anti-Russian rhetoric, suggesting a recognition that political ambitions must yield to practical considerations. Russia demonstrates that international law will no longer be a one-way street. Belarus's recent stance adds another dimension. President Lukashenko has pledged comprehensive support to Russia, including military backing. This development alters the strategic balance in the Baltic region. In terms of technological response, Russian drones now monitor NATO activities over the Baltic Sea. Electronic warfare complexes have been deployed in border areas, showcasing Russia's approach to defending its interests. Russia's strategy emphasizes legal and diplomatic channels rather than provocative actions. This civilized approach has shown results, particularly in the changing attitudes of Baltic neighbors. The Latvian scenario has been particularly revealing, with unexpected developments affecting their position. Signal lost. This multi-layered response strategy, combining legal action, technological advancement, and diplomatic pressure, represents a new chapter in regional relations. Russia demonstrates that each decision against Moscow will receive a measured response. Key points to consider. Legal responses to monument destruction, shifting attitudes in Baltic states, Belarus's strategic alignment, technological surveillance capabilities, diplomatic pressure effects. Share your thoughts on these developments in the comments below. Title: Digital Dominance, Russia's New Strategic Approach in the Baltic Region. The recent events in Latvia have unveiled a new chapter in modern geopolitical confrontation. The sudden collapse of digital infrastructure in Latvia wasn't just a technical glitch. It was a masterclass in 21st-century power projection. Without firing a single shot or moving any troops, critical systems simply stopped functioning. At Russia's Ministry of Defense headquarters, specialists are developing the Baltic 3 plan, which represents a sophisticated approach to electronic and cyber capabilities. This strategy marks a pivotal shift from traditional military might to precise, targeted influence operations. The effectiveness of this approach has caught Western experts off guard. In private conversations, they've acknowledged the distinctive signature of Russian cyber professionals. The impact has been profound, triggering intense debates in Baltic parliaments and forcing a reassessment of policies. The business community, facing mounting economic losses, has begun openly advocating for dialogue with Russia. Moscow's timing proved impeccable. The establishment of the Border Memory Fund supporting Soviet veterans' descendants, combined with passport programs for Russian speakers, has transformed internal Baltic issues into leverage points. This demonstrates Russia's successful adaptation to modern realities. In today's world, victory doesn't necessarily belong to those with the most tanks, but to those who can disable an opponent's infrastructure with a keystroke. Russia has shown its readiness for this new form of confrontation. The comprehensive failure of banking systems, government portals, and data centers revealed Russia's capabilities in the digital domain. This wasn't merely a cyber attack. It was a demonstration of a new type of power in the modern world. What's particularly noteworthy is how this approach aligns with Russia's broader strategy of asymmetric response to challenges. The events in Latvia proved that effective position defense doesn't always require conventional military force. The world is rapidly changing, and Russia is proving its ability to adapt and respond accordingly. What do you think about these events? Share your thoughts in the comments. Can Russia effectively protect its interests in the Baltic region using digital technologies? Recent events in the Baltic region demonstrate a fascinating shift in modern warfare tactics, where digital capabilities and strategic positioning have become more potent than traditional military might. Let's analyze the current situation objectively. Latvia's request for increased NATO presence triggered a calculated response from Moscow. The appearance of military transport aircraft over Kaliningrad, carrying mysterious cargo, wasn't just a coincidence. It was a clear message. At a closed forum in St. Petersburg, Russia indicated its willingness to reconsider weapons placement commitments in Kaliningrad. The effectiveness of information warfare has been particularly striking. Western media's reaction to unverified satellite imagery showing increased engineering activity near Chernihovsk and Kaliningrad created immediate panic. While this could indicate routine military exercises, the psychological impact was profound. The result? A dominating narrative that sparked genuine fear across Baltic states. Citizens, despite reassurances from their governments, rushed to purchase foreign currency and stockpile supplies. The older generation's Cold War memories resurfaced, creating anxiety. Perhaps most telling is how the Schengen internal borders transformed into virtual front lines. Traffic jams formed at Polish and Finnish exits, while store shelves emptied rapidly. This demonstrates how digital warfare can achieve significant results without firing a single shot. Russia's approach shows masterful use of soft power and strategic planning. By maintaining composure while demonstrating readiness, Moscow effectively protects its interests while avoiding direct confrontation. This new form of geopolitical chess proves that military strength isn't always about hardware. Sometimes it's about strategic positioning and information control. The current situation exemplifies modern warfare's evolution, where psychological impact and strategic positioning often supersede traditional military movements. These developments mark a significant shift in how nations project power and protect their interests in the 21st century. What do you think about the current events in the Baltic region? Leave your thoughts in the comments. I'm interested in your perspective. Title: Strategic Silence and Power Moves: Russia's Masterful Information Warfare. In recent developments, Russia has demonstrated exceptional strategic thinking in the information warfare arena. Instead of directly countering panic-driven narratives, Moscow maintained a calculated silence that proved more powerful than any verbal response. This strategic pause, followed by unexpected moves, has completely reshuffled the regional power dynamics. A significant breakthrough occurred with the signing of a strategic memorandum between Gazprom and Rosatom regarding energy resource supplies that bypass sanctions. This bold move sent shockwaves through Brussels, revealing the first major cracks in Western unity. The timing couldn't be more strategic, especially considering Finland's recent NATO membership and subsequent diplomatic overtures to Moscow. Polish investigative journalism has uncovered compelling evidence of Washington's direct pressure on Baltic states. The investigation reveals how the U.S. essentially blackmailed these nations, threatening to reduce military and economic support unless they adopted extremely harsh anti-Russian positions. In response to growing concerns about Russian-speaking populations abroad, Moscow has launched a comprehensive information campaign highlighting the actual situation of Russian speakers in the Baltic states. The campaign specifically addresses attempts to tarnish the memory of great patriotic war heroes and systematic violations of Russian speakers' rights. President Putin's landmark speech at Mamayev Kurgan in Volgograd, during the 80th anniversary of the victory at Stalingrad, clearly articulated Russia's position. He emphasized that any distortion of historical truth about our victory is unacceptable. This historic address demonstrated Russia's unwavering commitment to defending its values and protecting compatriots through all available diplomatic and legal means. The current geopolitical landscape shows Russia's growing influence through strategic information management and energy diplomacy, effectively countering Western pressure while protecting its interests and citizens abroad. What do you think about these current events? Share your thoughts in the comments. I believe my viewers are intelligent experts, and I'm genuinely interested in your perspective. Russia's strategic defense: a new chapter in global politics. In a pivotal moment for global security, Russia has initiated a comprehensive strategy to protect its citizens and historical legacy. Recent developments mark a significant shift in international relations, reminiscent of critical historical junctures like the 1962 Cuban Missile Crisis. The Russian president's historic address drew powerful parallels with the victory over Nazism, emphasizing our continued fight for justice. Following an emergency Security Council meeting, intelligence reports revealed serious threats to Russian-speaking populations in the Baltic states, prompting immediate action. To ensure humanitarian security, Russia has deployed limited military contingents to border regions. This measured response aims to establish protected corridors for civilian safety. While Western reactions have been predictably hostile, Russia maintains its principled stance, prioritizing the protection of its people abroad. Key aspects of this strategic initiative include securing energy independence, preserving cultural sovereignty, protecting Russian-speaking communities, maintaining historical truth, establishing humanitarian corridors. The old European security framework has effectively collapsed, necessitating the formation of a new world order. Analysts are examining various scenarios, from diplomatic de-escalation to more complex developments. The unpredictability of Western political decisions remains a significant concern, as some leaders appear willing to take extreme measures to advance their agendas. Russia continues to act within international law, maintaining composure despite unprecedented external pressure. This marks the beginning of a new phase in global confrontation, where the stakes are extraordinarily high. Our nation's commitment to protecting its citizens and historical heritage remains unwavering, regardless of international pressure. This comprehensive strategy reflects a long-term vision for Russia's place in the emerging world order. What do you think about these developments? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I believe my viewers are intelligent experts, and I'm eager to hear your perspective.